We are calling this thing Occam's Razor, and I am just plain John. I'm about to get into something very dark, and I'm not going to give any particulars in order to protect privacy. Still there? Great. So, a few years ago, someone I cared for immensely. Why are we so adverse to using the word love? Someone I love was lost in an act of random violence. We had an awful first date, or at least I thought it was. She asked me questions and kept me talking the whole time. I tried asking her questions, but she batted them away like a cat gulp keeping ping pong balls in front of a laundry basket. Then she'd toss up another question and keep me talking. I yapped and felt like a self absorbed twat afterwards, much like how I feel about making these videos. We were both traveling at the time we met, so we spent some time together and continued to travel, then kept in touch periodically. We hadn't spoken in months when one day I sent an email that said something like, "You've been at the front of my mind all day long. When this happens, it usually means that something is awry, but hopefully I'm just crazy and it's nothing." She didn't reply, so I figured that she didn't want to keep in touch anymore. That's totally understandable. 5 years later, I get curious about her and Google her name. Then all these news stories pop up. I click one, and it tells the story of a young man who traded his mind for a cheap chef's knife, and guess who paid the price for that trade? I hate beating around the bush and using euphemisms, especially when it comes to leaving this world. I feel that we're far too disconnected from that part of life. But it's YouTube, so that's all I'll say about it. The article states her name and age, but there are no photos of her. I do the math on the age, and then the truth smashes me like a dump truck full of cheap chef's knives. This kid lost it, bought a knife. She was on the wrong block at the wrong time. She's gone, and has been for years. It's difficult to wrap my head around random violence. A crime of passion, I can understand. Random violence, not so much. Is feeding and housing and medicating this kid for the rest of his life the right thing to do? Yes and no. I'm working on a story that deals with this unresolvable issue. I know that statistically, random violence almost never happens, and that mentally ill people are more likely to be the victims of violence than perpetrators. However, in addition to this story, an acquaintance's son was killed for no reason at all. Then there's the fact that I've been subjected to random violence by mentally ill people that surrounded me when I was a kid. Sure doesn't feel like random violence is rare. The suburbs give me the creeps, but I understand why people live there. Please don't walk around any city by yourself at night. I needed to tell this story and needed to tell it today. Mental illness and senseless violence has touched my life countless times in countless ways, but this is obviously quite different. Growing up in an unmedicated psych ward was tough, but no one ever killed anyone. They're all just messed up people trying to get what they need from each other using pathological means. I'm not excusing them, but at least no one croaked. All right, that's all I've got on that. I'm going to try doing some regular ramblings that aren't scripted in addition to scripted things. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm driving blind, just trying to connect with interesting folks.